Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah, our Father, and Yahusha, the Mashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming King. Hear, O Yesharel, Yahuwah, who is our mighty one, he is one. There is no other mighty one, brothers and sisters, than Yahuwah, and Yahusha is his voice. This is Brother Dawood coming to you again with the indictment. For thy violence against thy brother, Yacub. This is part 4. What would be the end result? Shame shall cover you, Esau, and you shall be cut off forever. Tell me something. What do you think about Rebecca? The Alayam put it in her head that the elder would serve the younger. She observed the elder and his behavior, and one of the things that vexed her was that he married the daughters of Het. That was forbidden. His seed was spoiled just by going into those women. Do you understand? So she set out to put Yacub, our patriarch, our father, on the throne. She knew that the one that we called Esau could not rule the family. He would not rule in righteousness, but he would rule in wickedness. And that brings up another point. Esau, Esau, is the brother of Yacub. It is impossible for Esau to be the white man. You see, the offenses charged in this indictment is only for seed. It cannot be transferred to the white man. The seed of Esau, which is also the seed of Yacub, the one we call Isaac, must be in the loins of Esau in order for him and his family members to be brought under the offenses that are charged in this indictment. Why do they continue to make those claims? There's no reason for you to say those things. The white man will also come under offenses. He was a collaborator, a co-defendant. He will also pay the price. But our primary enemy, the one that our father hates, is Esau. What did he say? Jacob, Yacub have I loved, but Esau, Esau, I hate him, and you're going to see why. Let's begin. Yashar. They call it Jasher. 56, 1-5. Ha means the. Yashar, they say, means book. The book. Look what they always take out. They always remove the Yah. It's their practice. Verse 1. And Yacub lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. Note, the Father put clues every place in this book. Never mind what people say. They just don't know how to read, nor do they have the Spirit of the Most High that will give them understanding. 17 years he was in Egypt, which means it was impossible for anyone to have been enslaved and treated evil in the land of Egypt for 400 years. The first person to go down into Egypt as a servant was the one that we call Joseph. His name is Yacub. When he went down into Egypt, there was 237 years left to the Exodus. He brought his father to meet Pharaoh. There was 215 years left to the Exodus. His father died in Egypt. There was 198 years left to the Exodus. 198 subtracted from 215 equals 17 years. Why did they create such a monumental lie and say that they were in Egypt for 400 years? It was to cover up an event, the transatlantic slave trade. Listen, we were removed from our borders. We were sent around the globe in ships. We have been in the land of our captivity, enslaved and treated evil 400 years. It did not happen to anyone else but us. Take back your heritage. Take back your identity. Return to Yahuwah and keep his commandments. Let's continue. And the days of Yacub and the years of his life were 147 years. 2. At that time, Yacub was attacked with that illness, of which he died. And he sent and called for his son, Joseph. His name is Yacub, from Egypt. Well, where was Yacub? He was in the land of Goshen, where the children of Yasharel dwelt. And Yahusep his son came from Egypt, and Yahusep came unto his father. 3. And Yacub said unto Yahusep and unto his sons, Behold, I am dying, and the alayam of your ancestors will visit you. Stop. The alayam, H430, the angels, the watchers, the messengers, the one that we used to say were called the Elohim. They were our guides, and bring you back to the land, which Yahuwah sware to give unto you and unto your children after you. You see, the Aliyam are the servants of Yahuwah. Now therefore, when I am dead, bury me in the cave which is in Machpelah, in Hebron, in the land of Canaan, near my ancestors. You saw the picture with the hole in the ground in the intro? That is where they said the cave is. 4. And Yacub made his sons swear to bury him in Machpelah in Hebron, and his sons swore unto him concerning this thing. Listen to the command. 5. And he commanded them, saying, Serve Yahuwah, your Alayak. Let's stop for a second. We found many terms with this all in the beginning. Alayak, Alayakam, Alayanu, Alua, Alaya. But his name is Yahuwah. For he who delivered your fathers will also deliver you from all trouble. Now you see where the problem, the trouble that we're in today? We walked away from he who was seated upon the throne. And now we're in the land of our captivity, fighting to return to him. 6. And Yacub said, Call all your children unto me. And all the children of Yacub's sons came and sat before him. And Yacub blessed them. And he said unto them, Yahuwah, the mighty one of your fathers, shall grant you 1,000 times as much, and bless you. And may he give you the blessing of your father Abraham. And all the children of Yacub's sons went forth on that day after he had blessed them. What is the blessing of Abraham? Anyone who blesses you shall be blessed. Anyone who curses you shall be cursed. The day of reckoning is at hand. 7. And on the next day Yacub again called for his sons. And they all assembled and came to him and sat before him. And Yacub on that day blessed his sons before his death. Each man did he bless according to his blessing. Behold, it is written in the book of the law of Yahuwah, appertaining to Yeshurun. There is no one else included in this covenant contract but us. Tell me something. Was anyone else included in our suffering? 8. And Yacub said unto Yehudah, I know, my son, that you are a mighty man for your brethren. Reign over them, and your sons shall reign over their sons forever. What is happening here? Yehudah is not the firstborn. Reuben is the firstborn. How is it that Yehudah has supplanted Reuben? The same thing happened before. Sex. Esau married the daughters of Het. It vexed Rebekah. Reuben slept with Yacub's concubine. Wickedness. So he was cut off. He would not lead the family. It was transferred to Yehudah. 9. Only teach your sons the bow and all the weapons of war, in order that we may fight the battles of their brother who will rule over his enemies. We are warriors. Now you see why we're so loud, outspoken, and violent, lions caged in the land of their captivity. 10. And Yacub again commanded his sons on that day. He said, Behold, I shall be this day gathered unto my people. Carry me up from Egypt, and bury me in the cave of Machpelah, as I have commanded you. 11. Howbeit, take heed, I pray you, that none of your sons will carry me, only yourselves. And this is the manner you shall do unto me when you carry my body to go with it to the land of Canaan to bury me. 12. I'm just going to read this the way that it is. Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, 3. Reuben, Simeon, Gad, 6. Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, 9. Dan, Asher, Naphtali, 12. Someone's missing, right? 13. Don't let Levi, Lauya, carry with you. Hold it 1 second. If you add Levi to the numbers, 13. How is that? Is there 13 tribes? No. There's only 12. Ephraim, Manasseh are considered to be the tribe of Joseph, Yahusep. So if you make them one tribe and add Levi, now you have 12. But Levi, Lauya, is the tribe of Yahuwah. He chose them to be priests. Let's continue. For he is Levi, Lauya, and his sons will carry the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah with the Yashal Yam in the camp. Not at the funeral procession. He said in the camp. It's a prophecy. He's speaking of a future event. He had seen it. The Alayam showed it to him. Neither let Yahusep my son carry. For he as a king, so let his glory be. Howbeit, Ephraim and Manasseh shall be in their stead. 14. Thus shall you do unto me when you carry me away. Do not neglect anything at all that I command you. And it shall come to pass when you do this thing unto me, that Yahuwah will remember you favorably, and your children after you. For a few minutes, forever. We cannot be replaced. 15. And you, my sons, honor each his brother and his relative, and command your children and your children's children after you to serve Yahuwah Alayak of your ancestors all the days. Let me show you why. 16. In order that you may prolong your days in the land, you and your children and your children's children forever. That's all the way down to us, brothers and sisters. When you do what is good and upright in the sight of Yahuwah, your Alayak, to go in all his ways. Did he say some? He said all. Why do you think we're not in the land today? We did not keep instructions. 17. And you, Yahusep, my son, forgive, I pray you, the wrongs of your brethren, and all their misdeeds in the injury that they heaped upon you, for the Alayam intended it for you and your children's benefit. What do you mean? He's telling Yahusep it was orchestrated. You know, his brothers throwing him in the hole and then selling him off to the merchants, and him coming into Egypt as the servant. Note, how did that happen? Yahusep had a dream, and the dream showed his brothers bowing to him. He went and told his brothers what the dream was. Jealousy overcame them, and they decided to get rid of him. He was brought into the land of Egypt, and the Alayam intended it for the benefit of his children and the children of Yasharal, that he would afford them peace and safety in the land of Egypt until he died. And another arose that knew not Pharaoh. And that's when our people were taken captive. 18. And, O my son, leave not your brethren to the inhabitants of Egypt, neither hurt their feelings. Forgive them. For behold, I consigned them to the hand of the Alayam, and in your hand to guard them from the Egyptians. He was the ruler of all Egypt. And the sons of Yacub answered their father, saying, O, our father, all that you have commanded us, so will we do. May God stop for a second. God is the replacement for the Alayam. God is singular. Alayam, Elohim, is plural. They replace the Alayam, the angels, plural, watchers, plural, messengers, plural, with the singular messenger, God Ra'el, the one who deceived Eve, the one who showed men the blows of death. Do you see, brothers and sisters, what they have done? In this book, you see God, and you've been praying to God, haven't we? We've been speaking well of God, like God is good, and all the time, God is good. We were only speaking about Satan himself. The Alayam are the messengers of Yah, but the Europeans sought to put their mighty one in the book. 19. And Yacub said unto his sons, So may the Alayam be with you. Look, there's a clause here. When you keep all his ways. So if you don't keep his ways, will they be with you? Now I see why they spoke to me, why they gave me such power. Because myself and all of you who are keeping this impossible Shabbat, we return back to the ways of Yahuwah. Now that we are here, listen to what he's going to tell us. Turn not from his ways. either to the right or the left, in performing what is good and upright in his sight. 20. For I know that many and grievous troubles will befall you in the latter days in the land. Yes, your children and your children's children only must serve Yahuwah, and he will save you from all trouble. So you see how this works? The Alayam were sent from Yah to help you, to guide you, to lead you, to protect you. But if you remove yourself from Yahuwah, he will remove his hand. And who is his hand? The Alayam. Do you see his hand? Right there in the middle of Allah, and see Yah? Yah is a hand stretched out to the M, the Mem, the waters. The waters are the children of Yesharo. He will remove his hand if you don't keep his ways. 21. And it shall come to pass, when you shall go after the Alayam to serve him. Serve who? Yahuwah. You're Alayak, not the Alayam. The Alayam keep telling our people, do not bow before me. I am your fellow servant. Serve Yahuwah. And will teach your children after you and your children's children to know Yahuwah. Then will Yahuwah raise up unto you and your children a servant from amongst your children, and Yahuwah will deliver you through his hand from all affliction, and bring you out of Egypt, and bring you back to the land of your fathers to inherit it. It's obvious that when they were in Egypt, the children of Yesharo, the children of Yacub, they were taking on the customs of the Egyptians. They had to turn back first. The same thing as us. We are in the house of bondage, likened unto Egypt, here in America and around the world. The only way that Yah will stretch forth his hands to us again is if we return. If we do that which is good and upright in his sight. What is that? Keep his commandments. And then he will bring us back to the land of our fathers to inherit it securely. 22. And Yacub ceased commanding his sons. And he drew his feet into the bed. He died and was gathered unto his people. 23. And Yahuseph fell upon his father, and he cried out and wept over him, and he kissed him. And he called out in a bitter voice, and he said, O my father, my father. 24. And his sons, wives, and all his household came and fell upon Yacub. And they wept over him, and cried in a very loud voice concerning Yacub. 25. And all the sons of Yacub rose up together, and they tore their garments, and they put on sackcloth upon their loins, and they fell upon their faces, and they cast dust upon their heads towards the heavens. This practice is still carried out in Africa. in the Middle East, as they call it. 26. And the thing was told unto Ashnat, Yahusep's wife. And she rose up and put on a sack. And she went with all the Egyptian women with her, and came and mourned and wept for Yacub. You see, the Egyptians were not our enemies, always. 27. And also all the people of Egypt, who knew Yacub, came all on that day when they heard this thing. And all Egypt wept for many days. How great is this man? 28. And also from the land of Canaan did the woman come up unto Egypt, when they heard that Yacub was dead, and they wept for him in Egypt for 70 days. 29. And it came to pass after this that Yahusep commanded his servants, the doctors, to embalm his father with myrrh, and frankincense, and all manner of incense, and perfume. And the doctors embalmed Yacub as Yahusep had commanded them. 30. And all the people of Egypt, and the elders, and all the inhabitants of the land of Goshen, that's where our ancestors dwelt, wept and mourned over Yacub. And all his sons and the children of his household lamented and mourned over their father Yacub many days. 31. And after the days of his weeping had passed away, at the end of 70 days, Yahusep said unto Pharaoh, I will go up and bury my father in the land of Canaan, as he made me swear, and then will I return. 32. And Pharaoh sent Yahusep, saying, Go up, bury your father as he said, and as he made you swear. And Yahusep rose up with all his brethren to go to the land of Canaan, to bury their father Yacub, as he had commanded them. 33. And Pharaoh commanded that it should be proclaimed throughout Egypt, saying, Whoever does not go up with Yahusep and his brethren to the land of Canaan to bury Yacub shall die. Wow. 34. And all Egypt heard of Pharaoh's proclamation, and they all rose up together, and all the servants of Pharaoh, and the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went up with Yahusep, and all the officers and nobles of Pharaoh went up as the servants of Yahusep. And they went to bury Yacub in the land of Canaan. 35. And the sons of Yacub carried the bier upon which he lay, according to all that their father commanded them. So did his sons unto him. 36. And the bier was of pure gold, and it was inlaid round about with onyx stones and bdellium. And the covering of the bier was gold, woven work joined with threads, and over them were hooks of onyx stones and bdellium. It must have been absolutely magnificent. 37. And Yahusep placed upon the head of his father Yacub a large golden crown, and he put a golden scepter in his hand, and they surrounded the bier, as was the custom of kings during their lives. He was a king, brothers and sisters. He was beyond a king. He created a whole nation, 12 nations, really, out of his loins. 38. And all the troops of Egypt went before him in this array. At first, all the mighty men of Pharaoh, and the mighty men of Yahusep, and after them the rest of the inhabitants of Egypt. And they were all girded with swords and equipped with coats of mail, armor. And the trappings of war were upon them. They had weapons that would lead to death. 39. And all the weepers and mourners went at a distance opposite to the bier, going and weeping and lamenting, and the rest of the people went after the bier. 40. And Yahusep and his household went together near the bier. They were barefooted. They were weeping. And the rest of Yahusep's servants went around him. Each man had his ornaments upon him. And they were all armed with their weapons of war. 41. And 50 of Yacub's servants went in front of the bier. And they strewed along the road myrrh and aloes, and all manner of perfume. And all the sons of Yacub that carried the bier walked upon the perfumery. And the servants of Yacub went before them, strewing the perfume along the road. 42. And Yahusep went up with a heavy camp. And they did after this manner every day until they reached the land of Canaan. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which was on the other side of the Jordan. And they mourned an exceedingly great and heavy mourning in that place. 43. Listen to this. And all the kings of Canaan heard of this thing. And they all went forth, each man from his house. 31 kings of Canaan. And they all came with their men to mourn and weep over Yacub. 44. And all these kings beheld Yacub's bier, and beheld Yahusep's crown was upon it, and they also put their crowns upon the bier, and encircled it with crowns. Do you see how great this man is? 45. And all these kings made in that place a great and heavy mourning with the sons of Yacub and Egypt over Yacub, for all the kings of Canaan knew the valor of Yacub and his sons. 46. And the report reached Esau, Esau, saying, Yacub died in Egypt, and his sons in all Egypt are conveying him to the land of Canaan to bury him. 47. And Esau heard this thing, and he was dwelling in Mount Seir. That's in Edom. And he rose up with his sons and all his people and all his household, a people exceedingly great. And they came to mourn and weep over Yacub. 48. And it came to pass, when Esau came, he mourned for his brother Yacub, and all Egypt, and all Canaan, again rose up and mourned a great mourning with Esau over Yacub in that place. The two brothers have been brought back together again. One is dead, and the other is still alive. 49. And Yahusep and his brethren brought their father Yacub from that place. And he went to Hebron to bury Yacub in the cave of Machpelah, next to his fathers. 50. And they came unto Kiriath Arba. I want you to remember this name for future parts. And they came unto Kiriath Arba to the cave. And as they came, Esau stood with his sons against Yahusep and his brethren. What? What do you mean he stood against them? As a hindrance in the cave. Why did he do that? Saying, Yacub shall not be buried here, for it belongs to us and to our father. Hold it 1 second. Hold it 1 second. All the nobles and the people of Egypt were present. The 12 tribes and their children were present. 31 kings of Canaan were present. All the people who heard of this and joined the procession were present. Once they get to the cave to lay our father to rest, then comes this great consternation. 51. And Yahusep and his brethren heard the voice of Esau's sons, and they were exceedingly angry, as I am now. And Yahusep approached unto Esau, saying, What is this thing that you have spoken? Surely my father Yacub brought it for you from you for great riches after the death of Yacub. Now 25 years ago. And he also bought all the land of Canaan. He bought it from you and from your sons and your seed after you. 52. And Yacub bought it for his sons and his seed after him for an inheritance forever. And why speakest you these things on this day? This day when we are lamenting for our father. We have all of our guests that came here to witness him being interned into the ground. And yet you begin this great consternation. 53. And Esau answered, saying, You're speaking falsely. You are uttering lies. For I did not sell anything belonging to me in all this land, as you say. Neither did my brother Yacub buy anything belonging to me in this land. 54. And Esau spoke these things in order to deceive Yacub with his words. For Esau knew that Yacub was not present in those days, when Esau sold all belonging to him in the land of Canaan to Yacub. Brothers and sisters, this is our history. This has nothing to do with Jews, Europeans, the Africans or the Asians. These are our ancestors. It's our history. Learn this. 55. And Yacub said unto Esau, surely my father inserted these things with you in the record of purchase, and testified the record with witnesses. You know what he just said? We have the contracts. We have the covenant. We have the notary stamp with witnesses. It is with us in Egypt. Where's yours? 56. And Esau answered, saying unto him, well, bring the record. And all that you find in the record, that's what I'll do. 57. And Yacub called unto Naphtali, I believe it's Nap-to-Yah, his brother. And he said, hasten, quickly, stay not, run, please, to Egypt, and bring all the records, the record of purchase, the sealed record and the open record, and also all the first records, in which all the transactions of the birthright are written. Go fetch them for me. Anytime there's any business dealings with family or any others, make sure it's documented. 58. And you shall bring them unto us here, that we may know from them all the words of Esau and his sons, which they spoke this day. 59. And Naphtali hearkened to the voice of Yacub, and he hastened and ran down to Egypt. And Naphtali was lighter on foot than any of the stags that were upon the wilderness, for he would go upon ears of corn without crushing them. There is only one people in this planet that are likened unto this. You see them in the Olympics, faster than everyone else. You see them playing basketball. You see them playing football. It is you, brothers and sisters. All of the clues are in this book. 60. And when Esau saw that Naphtali had gone to fetch the records, he said, uh-oh. So he and his sons increased their resistance against the cave. And Esau and all his people rose up against Yacub and his brethren to battle. Remember, this is at this great man's internment. All of this ruckus. 61. And all the sons of Yacub and the people of Egypt fought with Esau and his men. Stop. Do you see this? The Egyptians fought with us against Esau. And the sons of Esau and his people were smitten before the sons of Yacub. And the sons of Yacub slew of Esau's people 40 men. There was nothing said here that any of the children of Yacub or the Egyptians were slain. 62. And Husham, the son of Dan, the son of Yacub, was at that time with Yacub's sons. But he was about 100 cubits distant from the place of the battle. For he remained with the children of Yacub's sons by Yacub's bier to guard it. 63. And Husham was dumb and deaf. Still he understood the voice of consternation amongst men. He looked at their faces. He saw the scuffle. He saw the arguing. He understood that something was going on. He just did not know what. 64. And he asked. He must have been using sign language. And he said, "Why are you not burying the dead? And what is this great consternation? What is this ruckus? Why is everyone heated? What is all this fighting for?" And they answered him the words of Esau and his sons. And when he heard what Esau and his sons had said, what did they say? Yacub shall not be buried here. This belongs to us and our father Esau. When he heard this, he ran to Esau in the middle of the battle, and he slew Esau with a sword. He cut off his head. It sprang to a distance, and Esau fell amongst the people of the battle. Praise be to Yahuwah, the one who was deaf and dumb, was used to slay this wicked man. 65. And when Husham did this thing, the sons of Yacub prevailed over the sons of Esau. And the sons of Yacub buried their father Yacub by force in the cave. And the sons of Esau beheld it. They were plotting. From this day, brothers and sisters, to destroy us. 66. And Yacub was buried in Hebron, in the cave of Machpelah, which Abraham bought from the sons of Het. You're familiar with the sons of Het. So as Esau, he married some of their daughters for the possession of a burial place. And he was buried in very costly garments. 67. And no king had such honor paid him as Yahusep paid unto his father at his death. For he buried him with great honor, like unto the burial of kings. 68. And Yahusep and his brethren made a mourning of 7 days for their father. The end. Note. They said Yahusep was crafty, cunning. He was righteous beyond anyone that I've seen. Esau said he sold nothing unto Yacub. See, no one was there, so you can say anything, right? Remember the bowl of red stew? He sold his birthright to Yacub. The birthright comes with the blessing. Afterwards, Yacub came to Esau some 25 years after Yacub's death, and he paid him great riches. He bought everything from him so that he would not go down in history as a supplanter. Yet this story has been wiped out of the KJV and the other books. We didn't know about this. He paid for the land. He bought it. Listen to me. He paid for the land. He brought it. All of Canaan. Note, for his children and his children's children, all the way down to you. It is our inheritance, brothers and sisters. It belongs to us outright. Because Esau, he sold all belonging to him to Yacub. O great one, we, the ancestors of this powerful man, we come before you today. Hasten your coming. Destroy our great enemy. Make him like the stubble before the wind. Continue to part 5. Shalom.